had the chance to date my old high school crush, but I was engaged to my fiancée. So I broke off my engagement to pursue my high school crush, but it turns out she was just using me for money. I had a crush on this girl named Carla ever since middle school, and that carried on even into high school. Back then, though, she never really paid any attention to me. I was just another face in the crowd to her, while I had this ongoing infatuation that never seemed to go anywhere. After high school, I joined the military and moved away from my hometown. During my time in the military, I met Sarah. She is a nurse and has dreams of becoming a nurse practitioner or even a doctor someday. Sarah was the type of woman I usually ended up dating, kind, caring, and ambitious. We had a good relationship, and everything seemed to fall into place naturally. After serving in the military, I left to pursue contracting work and eventually moved back to my home state, where my family and old memories were. One day, while I was out at a bar getting drinks, I was stunned to see Carla behind the counter as the bartender. It had been so many years, and honestly, I never expected to run into her again. She did not recognize me at first, but when I told her my name, she could not believe it. She looked shocked and mentioned how much I had changed since our school days. That encounter sparked something between us, and before long, I started frequenting the bar more often just to see her. As time went on, we exchanged contact information and started catching up on everything that had happened over the years. Felt surreal. This was the girl I had been infatuated with for so long, and now we were actually connecting. During one of our conversations, Carla admitted something that completely threw me off guard. She told me that she had a crush on me now, despite knowing that I had a fiancée, Sarah. She explained that she admired how driven and ambitious I had become over the years. Her honesty about her feelings left me confused and conflicted. On the one hand, I had a solid relationship with Sarah. She was everything I had ever wanted. Loving, supportive, and dependable. We were engaged, and our future seemed bright. But on the other hand, there was Carla, someone I had never imagined would be interested in me. I started questioning whether I would regret it for the rest of my life if I did not explore this unexpected opportunity with Carla. She told me that she understood my situation and would give me time to figure out what I wanted to do, but it left me in an emotional mess. As time went on, the weight of the decision grew heavier. I loved Sarah deeply, but part of me kept wondering what life could be like with Carla, the one who had been out of reach for so long. I felt torn between staying with the woman I knew was good for me and chasing after an old flame that suddenly seemed possible. Update. In the end, I made the worst mistake of my life. I broke Sarah's heart. Despite how much I loved her, I foolishly called off the wedding and ended our relationship so that I could pursue Carla, my old high school crush. At the time, it felt like I had to do it. I would always wonder what if I did not give it a shot with Carla. But everything went wrong. Over the course of the few weeks that I was with Carla, it became painfully clear that she was not interested in me in the same way I was in her. She used me. I was nothing more than a piggy bank to her. I spent money on her, spoiling her with gifts, paying for her hair, her nails, and whatever else she wanted. I was so blinded by my old feelings that I did not even realize what was happening. The worst part came when I found out that Carla had used the money I sent her through Zelle to buy a plane ticket for another guy to come visit her. I cannot even describe how sick to my stomach I felt when I learned that. I had given up the love of my life, my future with Sarah, for someone who never truly cared about me. All I was to Carla was a convenient source of money. After realizing the mistake I had made, I reached out to Sarah. I poured my heart out to her, trying to explain how much I loved her and how much I regretted everything. But she was hurt, understandably so. She told me she felt betrayed and that she could never be someone's sloppy seconds. I tried to reassure her, telling her that she was not, and never had been, second place to anyone in my heart. I loved her, and I realized too late that she was everything I ever needed. But by then, the damage was done. I had broken her trust and shattered the future we had built together. Now I am left with nothing but regret. I ruined the best thing that ever happened to me because I got caught up in the fantasy of an old crush. Sarah was my real chance at happiness, and I let her slip away. Moving on to the next story. I was engaged to my fiancée for 6 years. She took a few days off work, claiming she was sick to avoid people, and later shocked me by getting a face tattoo. She ended up breaking up with me after I expressed my concerns. Recently, I learned that she died of a drug overdose. My fiancée, Kim, whom I have been with for 6 years, has recently shown behavior that is completely out of character. She took a few days off work, claiming she was sick, and avoided seeing most people in person. Her family and I were not concerned because she has always been stable and responsible, giving no indication that she would lie about such things. However, I soon discovered that she had taken these sick days not because of an illness but to recover from the aftermath of getting a face tattoo. Kim has never shown any interest in tattoos throughout our relationship, so this came as a complete shock to me. I was not even the first person to learn about it. Her sister visited her after Kim canceled a lunch meeting on the 3rd day of her supposed sickness. Her sister got the grand reveal when she visited. Kim had not told anyone beforehand because she did not want to be talked out of it and wanted to keep the results hidden due to swelling and redness. The tattoo consists of Japanese symbols running down her forehead and under her eye. As her parents are Japanese immigrants, this is especially troubling because tattoos in Japanese culture are often associated with crime and are heavily frowned upon. Her family is devastated, adding even more drama to the situation. Kim herself claims that the tattoo has deep artistic meaning, but I cannot bring myself to care about the meaning. This entire situation feels surreal and deeply concerning. When Kim and I finally talked about it, I expressed my shock and told her how insane this decision seemed. She works a public-facing job in the financial industry, where appearances are crucial. The moment her boss finds out, her career could be over. Kim had not considered her job, her family, or even me in making this decision. She told me she had decided a long time ago to express herself freely without worrying about the consequences. I am worried about her mental state. This is not normal behavior, and I do not know how to handle it. After our argument, Kim blocked my number and has been ghosting both me and her sister. I feel utterly helpless. I cannot comprehend how this happened, and I am left wondering if I can be happy marrying someone who made such a life-altering decision without consulting anyone. Is there any hope for this relationship, or do I need to run before it gets worse? Update: 8 months later. About 9 months ago, Kim, my ex-fiancée, got a face tattoo without telling anyone. That was just the beginning of a downward spiral that led her to destroy her life and our 7-year relationship. When I questioned her decision, she broke up with me. Kim worked in a client-facing role for a large financial institution and was let go within a month of returning to work after getting the tattoo. I kept in touch with Kim's sister, hoping for some news. Her family tried to get her help, believing she was having a mental breakdown. However, things escalated when Kim called the police on her own family, accusing them of harassment. That was when I decided I could no longer be part of her life. Walking away was one of the hardest decisions I have ever made, but I had no other choice. Kim's actions did not just destroy her own life, they deeply affected me as well. When she broke up with me, I was numb. I kept telling myself that this was who Kim really was, a reckless, impulsive person who would ruin her life for a tattoo. But deep down, I knew that this was not the Kim I had loved for 7 years. The woman who sent me hateful messages and told me she hated me was not the person I had asked to marry. It turned out that she had been having a severe mental breakdown for months before the tattoo, fueled by drug use. The day I told her sister I could not handle it anymore was devastating. The numbness and denial I had been feeling all came crashing down at once. I almost quit my job and moved back to my parents' house. I am forever grateful to my boss for giving me 4 weeks off to process everything. My coworkers and management went above and beyond to support me, and I realize now how close I was to leaving a job I actually enjoyed. I never fully moved on from Kim, but I came to terms with what had happened until 2 weeks ago. I received a call from Kim, who had blocked my number after we broke up. I was shocked to see her name on my phone, and after some hesitation, I answered. She wanted to meet and talk, so I agreed. When we met, I barely recognized her. She had lost a lot of weight, and she was covering the tattoo with makeup. She admitted she was looking into getting it removed, but did not have the money for it yet. She told me about what had happened in the year leading up to the tattoo. She had secretly started using methamphetamines to cope with the stress of her job and life. One day, she decided she hated everything about her life, and the tattoo was part of that impulsive spiral. From that point, everything fell apart for her. We talked for hours that night. Kim said she wanted to try to get back together, but she knew things could never be the same. I have not told anyone about this yet, but there is something that has been bothering me. When we talked, she acted like I was lucky to have been spared from her breakdown. She minimized the impact her actions had on me, dismissing my pain because I was not the one with a tattoo on my face or a drug problem. It hurt deeply when she brushed off how hard it was for me after she left, as if my suffering did not matter. I feel like she has not fully grasped the damage she caused, and it is eating me up inside. Update 2. Yesterday, I learned that Kim died of a drug overdose on Sunday. I am still trying to process the news. We broke up 2 years ago after the tattoo incident, but she re-entered my life about a year ago, wanting to reconnect. I foolishly entertained the idea, even though it was clear she was still using drugs. After I declined to get back together, she caused a scene at my office and slashed my tires. I had to take out a restraining order against her, and a few months later, she disappeared from my life again. Kim's sister called to inform me of her death. Kim had been living across state lines, hiding from a warrant. Her parents, who have been estranged from her due to the chaos she brought into their lives, are quietly cremating her. There will be no ceremony. It seems they had already mourned the loss of their daughter long ago. As I sit here, I do not know how to feel. Kim was once the most important person in my life. We were together for 6 years, and I loved her deeply. But after everything that happened, I feel nothing. Not numbness or shock, just a complete absence of emotion. I miss the Kim I fell in love with, but the Kim who died on Sunday feels like a stranger to me. I do not know if this is normal. Should I be feeling more? Should I be mourning her? I still grieve for the Kim I loved, but the woman who stalked me, who destroyed her life, and who ultimately died of a drug overdose feels like someone else entirely. I am left wondering if that is okay. If it is normal to feel nothing at all when someone you once loved is gone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more interesting stories and perspectives, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Don't miss out on more interesting videos. Click the video on your screen to check out my previous interesting content. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. See you in the next video.